Welcome to the Drama Queen Perspective, a podcast designed to empower, inspire, educate, and entertain. Drama Queen is a philanthropist, educator, business owner, poet, and performer. So you will be entertained. Find out what's trending. Get a thumbs up or thumbs down on the hottest restaurants, places, and things. And find out ways to help your business grow. And much, much more. Without further ado, here is your host, Drama Queen.
What's up? It's your girl Drama Queen coming to you with another reaction for season 7 of 60 Days In. This is the second reaction for episode 8, which aired on Thursday, October the 6th, 2022. And the name of the episode is Who Runs the Pod? The very first reaction video I did talked about Darius, Carlos, and Rose. In this particular reaction, I am going to talk more about Thump, who I have named aka Thumper, and Nick aka, or Nicholas aka Nick. I want to dive into them. So congratulations, Thumper and Nicholas. You have made the Drama Queen vlog and you have your own thumbnail. Congratulations. All right, so let's first start off by talking about Mr. Thumper. I didn't know what to think. Well, yeah, I did. Let me just say this. I am a very good reader of people and their energy and their personality. And I have worked with students that remind me of Thumper all of the time. The ones that speak the loudest, boast their chests and talk about how they like to fight and they can do this and they can do that. And those be some of the biggest teddy bears, the scariest cats, all of that. I remember some of my kids going through that, and I had, God rest his soul, one of my good friends who was a sergeant at the school, his dog Chewy would come back to my office and see me. Like, he knew where my office was. I would keep treats back there. And Chewy was probably about between 80 and 100 pounds. And you would see these so-called thugs. Chewy's walking back there looking for me, and I'm not thinking nothing of it. And these big boys jumping on tables. The ones that talk about they done did this and they done got this last night and they done shot them up and bang bang and blah 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 blah. So Thump, aka Thumper, he reminds me of a lot of students that I had. So it's been interesting watching him, and I am going to enjoy watching him some more because I was right on point with him. Now, according to Carlos, when he was in F1, Thump was throwing up, gang signs. So he's supposed to be a gangster disciple. And he was kind of labeled as a troublemaker. And, he says, my name is Nathaniel Thump because, I know how to thump. I know how to fight. And he's like, I don't like being told what to do. But you in jail, bruh. I don't like being told what to do either. That's why I make sure that I do what I need to do so nobody has to tell me and I don't put myself in a predicament where I'm going to jail where they're telling me what to do dang near my whole day. My whole day is planned by them. It cracks me up when people say, I don't like nobody telling me what to do. Then you need to make sure that you put yourself in a situation where you're not going to jail or prison or court where somebody else has control over your life. And, he has the thump tattooed above his eye. And I guess that's just to remind him every day he looks in the mirror that he is such a thumper and such a fighter. But nah, bruh. Nah. And we going to get more into him in a little bit. So once Carlos talks about, the problems that he noticed in F1, then Carlos was like, hey, we need to go sit down and talk to him. And so the quote unquote pod bosses, sit down and talk with him to see what issues that he had at the other pod. I can see that, but, me, and again, I'm not one that knows jail politics because I'm not one that's been in and out of jail. But for me, I could be like, if I'm coming into a new pod, like, who the hell are you coming to me asking me what issues I had at the other pod? Like, who the hell are you? Like, dude, leave me alone. Let me serve my time. I'm going to do what I do. You do what you do. I stay out your way. You stay out my way. But, again, I'm not about that life, so I don't understand I understand now. I'm saying before going to be a volunteer participant for 60 Days In for season 6, I would have probably had that attitude, but I understand a little bit more now. Nick, Carlos, and Bull Rider are the perceived ones that are the pod bosses in C1. And Nick really looks up to Bull Rider and Carlos. And so Nick will do any and everything to protect those two. I respect his loyalty. I'm going to say it again. I respect his loyalty. But it's just so hard for me because I haven't been a follower since I was in like single digits. I've always been a leader the majority of my life. And so I just can't follow behind somebody and want to just always fight their fights for them. I want people can fight their own fights. I'm woman enough to fight my own fights. And when I say fight, I'm not necessarily talking about physical fight. I'm just talking about just my life issues, conversations, arguments, all of that. So Nick is, I feel like Nick, because of that gang lifestyle, he wants to belong. He just has this sense of, I want to belong. I want people to be, I want people to be fearful of me. I want people to, the higher ups, I want them to be proud of me. And, I understand it a little bit more, again, working with students just like Nick, and then being in the jail and seeing different personalities and people operate like him. I just want Nicholas to just find himself, and not in such a violent way, because he stay on go. Nick stays on go. And I feel like he puts himself out there a lot. And I just don't want him to get hurt, because Bull Rider and Carlos are not going to always be around. Now, they're going to probably be, if he continues to go to jail, which I hope he doesn't. I hope he can, break this chain and this cycle and stop going to jail. But there will always be a Bull Rider and a Carlos in a jail facility. And, like Carlos said in one of the episodes, everyone is a pawn, including Nicholas. And I just want him to really be able to understand the value that he has and be able to use his good skills for something good instead of something bad. Let's talk about Bull Rider versus Thump. Bull Rider, again, is extremely large, and his physical appearance can definitely be intimidating. But it takes a lot to take Bull Rider there. Again, audience view. I know that we weren't there the entire time that Carlos and Darius were in there and they were recording. But from what I see on the TV, it takes a lot to take Bull Rider there. But honey, when he goes there, he goes there. And when he was yelling, thump, thump, like I could feel the vibrations of his voice in my heart through the TV. So I know Thump wanted to boo-boo on himself. I'm sure, you know what? I'm sure Thump, he sharded himself. I'm almost positive that that Thump shorted himself, because Bull Rider is not to be played with. He kept yelling his name, and Thump was like, I'm good, and I'm thinking, but you came in with all this energy, talking about you a fighter, and you like to thump and all of that, but you got somebody that is ready to thump your ass, and you went from thump to dump. Like, you don't even want none of that. And, you know who to pick on. And that's the thing where I think everybody was pissed off at him, because he's picking on Thump is picking on Deshaun, because Deshaun is the little boy in the pod. Little is in age, little is in experience, little is in size. And I do understand why Carlos felt like, hey, I got to put my chucks on and go talk to Thump, because you not about to sit up here and bully Deshaun. One of the things that Carlos said that I loved, not liked, but one of the things that Carlos said that I absolutely loved is he was like, be a predator towards a predator. I was like, damn. Be a predator towards a predator. I know I got in your ass the last video, Carlos. But this, be a predator towards a predator, I was like, you know what? I think that hit home for Thump too, because he's like, all right, man, like, yeah, I got you. Thump talks too much shit. He talks like, I kept saying to the TV, like when him and Nick was having that issue, and Nick is like, let me handle him. He talked a little bit of stuff when Nick was in his face, but all that I shoulda, woulda, coulda, damn, coulda, houlda, all of that stuff. Nah, shut up, please. I think I even yelled to the TV like, shut up. Now, what was funny, and I felt like I saw Nick, like he wanted to smile, but he was mad, so he was trying to stay mad and trying to stay hard, because he wanted Carlos and Bull Rider to be proud of him, is when that dude came and picked Nick up and took his ass up the steps. I said, do it. Do it. He carried him up the steps like a sack of potatoes. Oh my God. And then I think the other thing that was funny that cracked me up about Mr. Thumper is when production was asking him, like, who runs the pod, he might as well have been sitting in that bed with his thumb in his mouth playing with his belly button, because that's what I felt like. He looked like a little old toddler that had his snacks snatched from him. He said, I don't want to be here no more. And I know this is wrong, but I just start cracking up. I'm like, you talk all that shit about being a fighter, and just like Lucky Chucky said he could do 60 days in standing on his penis, you couldn't take the heat. You had many opportunities to fight Mr. Thumper, and y'all punked out. But then you want to go bully Deshaun. Make it make sense. I hate people that do that. So you're a thumper and you're a fighter to the little man, but when you have somebody that says be a predator towards a predator, your ass backs down. You know what? I bet Thump puts his hands on women. He likes to fight and likes to thump, but he likes to do it to people that he feels like he's stronger and bigger and badder than. I don't like that. I hope he can outgrow that, because since he was looking like he was a toddler, I hope he can outgrow that. Because before, yeah, he needs to outgrow that, because that's not cool. So now I'm going to jump back to Nick. Now, I discussed this in the last reaction video about Mr. Nick using the N-word multiple times. And used it when he was referring to or talking about a person of color. Oh, besides the fact that I wanted to hold certain people accountable, go watch the video if you want to learn a little bit more. I kept thinking, each and every time that I heard Nick say the N-word, and each and every time he said it and the hairs on my arm raised, and my level of festivity raised, I said, would a black inmate have been wrong to punch him in the damn face? And then you putting Bull Rider and Carlos in a situation because they want to protect you or whatever. I wonder what would have happened. I wonder what would have happened if it was an old school black brother that don't take no shit and don't do racism and don't allow and don't accept Caucasians using that word. If he would have punched Nick in the face, then what? Then what? I really wonder. I felt like Nick and Thump both were out of line so much in this episode, and that's why I wanted to give them their own reaction video. Another thing that irritated me about Thump is, why in the hell are you sitting your dirty ass on people's beds? Like, you did it on, it would look like more than one occasion. Like, you just like laying on somebody else's bed? Like, excuse me, like I'm getting choked up and like I want to throw up. Like, who does that? A lot of these inmates ain't even showering or washing up or brushing their teeth. We just had a lice breakout in the women's pod. Like, what the hell? Why would you do that? And one of the inmates confronted him like, dude, I don't put my ass where you sleep. Like, common sense. But clearly, he's lacking it. Thump going and looking under people's beds and trying to see what they have for commissary. I just... Ugh. I talked about in another, the first reaction video for this episode about Darius's quiet confidence versus Carlos's loud and boisterous confidence. One of the things that I enjoyed watching with Darius is Thump was in Darius's room, and it was a situation where it's like, dude, you gotta go. Nobody wants you here. You didn't see Darius pounding on his chest. It didn't seem like it was a penis swinging competition. He just went and talked to him man to man. He didn't have to raise his voice. He didn't have to curse. It was not a competition. He just let him know, bro, this is what it is. Thump respected it and went next door, and they were, willing to take him in. I love that quiet confidence. I love when people can get the job done without all of that hoopla. I love it. The last thing that I will leave with when talking about Mr. Thumper and Mr. Nicholas is I wish that they both would utilize and find the things that they have in their life that are positive and find a way to make that work for them, make that grow for them, make that work for them financially or whatever. I think Nick could have some excellent leadership qualities. I think that I could see Nick 5, 10, 15 years from now mentoring young men that have been in a gang and telling them, man, I've been there, done that, dude. Don't do that. Stop. I can see Thump doing that too. They're very immature. I hope that I see both of them going in and out of the system, unfortunately, a few more times and hitting their head a few more times before they really get it. If Nick continues to use the N-word, he gonna use that N-word around the right person, and that might be the last head knock he gets to wake his ass up. So let me know your thoughts on Mr. Thumper and Mr. Nicholas. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you tune in for the last reaction video for episode 8 of season 7 of 60 Days In. Drama Queen is signing out.
Thanks for listening to the Drama Queen Perspective. Be sure to like and subscribe this podcast and share with the drama queens in your life. Until next time, this has been the Drama Queen Perspective.